Welcome everyone, and thank you for taking the time to attend this webinar, either tuning in live or listening to the recorded version. I'm Andrew Healy, General Manager of beforeUdig in New Zealand, a Pelican Corp company. Over the last 2 to 3 years, there's been a noticeable upswing in interest from utilities, locators, utility service companies, seeking effective ways to improve network records. To make this happen, one of the important steps is to modernize data collection in the field. It's not efficient to manually record and have multiple steps to update network records. And that's why our company has purchased and is launching Geolantis360, a field data collection platform capable of digitizing workflows. So today we will hear from Michael Pegram, the GM of Geolantis and the founder of Geolantis in 2011. He's coming to us live from Austria. Michael has a utility mapping and engineering background, and Geolantis is his brainchild, which makes him the creator of a system that simplifies and brings much needed efficiency to a complex set of challenges that many of us are facing. It's my pleasure to hand over to Michael Pegram. Michael, welcome, and we look forward to you sharing with us today.
A warm good morning here from Austria. Good morning to New Zealand. Happy to be here and present the Geolantis product. So, yeah, we see in the industry a big change. Mobile devices getting more and more powerful. Today, the next generation of the iPhone was introduced by Apple. High precision devices are getting more and more common. They are getting cheaper. So when I started, it was 50,000 New Zealand dollars to have a GNS device which was capable of collecting data. It was very hard to use because you had to plan your trip out in the field. You had not enough satellites on the sky. Nowadays, we see a lot of different satellite services. It's very easy to use. It's much cheaper. The cost of maintaining infrastructure is getting higher and higher. More infrastructure is laid, fiber cables. Old infrastructure have to be replaced. We see a lot of data management platforms, and our idea was to build a platform which is capable of utilizing all the things and putting into one platform to prevent damages, classic asset protection, but to have spatial workflows to update and maintain the existing data sets. So we see a lot of changes having manual workflows transferred to digital workflows. Utility data is digitized by a manual data collection, by using LiDARs, ground penetrating radars. We see more and more data sharing between different organizations, and we see a lot of workflows in companies or even beyond. So a traditional workflow looks like that. Someone is going out, locating utilities, marking that, and mapping surveying expert goes out, finds the utility, put it in probably a GNSS device, or even capturing it manually with paper, bring it in the office, and someone have to bring it in a geographic information system. That's what I did 20 years ago. So doing such a job, putting all the data, old data sets, paper plans, surveying maps or surveying points into a digital plan. A very painstaking process. Even nowadays, you have a lot of workflows doing paper sketches, field notes. You are collecting surveying points, you are taking photos, and you have to process that in some way to get it in the GIS system. It's very error prone. You have a lot of questions. You have to get back to the field worker. Probably you have to go out multiple times. It's a slow process. It's a time-consuming process. There are many key pain points in the industry. So a lot of standalone tools not connected. There's a surveying app, or there's a field note app. Then you have an office post-processing software, or you have this paper side notes, which you have to bring somehow into a digital system. Existing maps are mostly not accessible for the field workers doing the data capture process. It's a quite slow process, and in many cases, the legacy software is very complex. So Geolantis has a very simple workflow. So you have a mobile app which is connected through the cloud to a backend. So it's a dashboard. It's a centralized dashboard, and the data flows automatically back to the office. Or if you are uploading anything in the office, it's transported to the field. If many field workers are working, you are getting updates in near real time or real time, and it connects to different external devices like electromagnetic locators, GNSS equipment, and it's vendor agnostic. So it doesn't matter if it's someone of you probably have such devices, if it's a Trimble, Leica device, or any other point. So Geolantis is open, vendor agnostic. And most important thing is you have this centralized dashboard, and everyone has to do the same. The whole internal team, or even if you are working beyond with external contractors, you can set up a digital process that everyone is collecting in the same way with the same methods, and you have a much easier life because everything is coming back in the same form. The backend helps to set up everything, the configuration, managing data, projects, including all the interfaces, API. The mobile apps are fully offline capable. You have always background maps. You can connect it with external devices, and the app is always telling you how accurate you are, what steps you have to do, and it's very easy to use. So you don't need any surveying knowledge. You don't have any background in that. You only have to understand the utilities, and the software is guiding you through that. Our platform includes mapping with GNSS devices. It connects to these EM locators. They allow you to automatically map while you are locating. So once you have located the cable, you are pressing the depth measurement button. It's automatically sending a signal to our software. The software is combining the location with all the meter information and creating a map. At the end, you know how it was collected, who collected it, at which time, and with all the settings and configurations and sensor data attached to every single measurement point. It includes a mobile CAD and GIS engine. In comparison to most other mapping tools, it has full CAD capabilities with all object types. It can be used as a stakeout tool. It has a as-built documentation functionality. In addition, you can do asset inspections. So you can take field notes, take photos. They have a spatial reference. You can annotate these photos. You can mark something on it. It's attached to objects or features. Can be used for damage prevention by having the maps with you. It comes with a data management platform, and it can be used for infrastructure planning. So you are creating the design either in a third-party tool or in Geolantis, and then you can go out and create a build out of it. So the software runs in a cloud. So you have a backend, or we call it the backend or the dashboard, which is running in any modern browser. You log in with your credentials, depending on your rights configuration. You have different options, and you can manage all aspects of the data collection process. It could be a very simple data collection process where you define your catalogs, where you create a project, and then someone goes out. Or it could be a sophisticated process where you are even managing the field workers by having tasks, resource planning. Just imagine cable locators or GPR devices. You only have a handful of them or one, and you see it then on the calendar who have used it. So you don't need an additional tool. It could be managed in the Geolantis platform. Next to that, you can fill in checklists. Is it a health and safety checklist? Is it equipment check? Is it a form for customer approvals? The software comes with different type of forms, checklists. You can take photos, annotate them, or have some diagrams like here, this vehicle checking. And everything is then synced back to the dashboard. And from there, you can export it manually, share services, or it can be fully implemented in an enterprise framework with the very powerful API. So these slides have probably Leica devices here, but the software is compatible with a lot of most of the GNSS devices. Good. Yeah, there's a mobile CAD and GIS viewer with background maps, Google Satellite Maps, OpenStreetMap. You can use web services, WMS, WFS. You can upload existing CAD data, GIS data. You can set up all the different layer types on which zoom levels they are shown. Full offline capability. There's a spatial database, so even in the regions where you don't have a reception, you can use the software, and it's syncing automatically with the dashboard or the backend. And you can access attached documents, photos, and all the things which are recorded. Data collection, very simple by having everything feature class based. You're saying that's a water pipe, that's a hydrant, that's a street light, that's a power line, that's a fiber cable. You can have mandatory attributes or optional attributes. You can take photos. You can even annotate these photos. You know in which direction a photo has been taken. The software enforces quality by forcing the field worker to capture certain things, to maintain certain accuracies, and the software is recording all meta information. So settings in the software, sometimes someone sets probably a wrong ball height. At the end, you still will be able to use this data because every single aspect is stored to each single measurement point. And everything is transferred to the cloud backend, where you can review the data, change data, or send out another task to the field worker to redo the work, and you can share it then. That's a specialty of the software. It integrates with EM locators, where you then remote control the data collection process. So you are searching the cable, as I already said. Then you are measuring the depths. In that moment, information is sent to the software. The software is capturing then the location from the GNSS device. It takes all the meter information, frequency, depth, serial number, whatever the device is sending. It's recorded then for each single measurement point. Even if you are capturing a line, to every single node, you have all these informations. And yeah, you can use that even offline without having an internet connection. As soon as you have a connection, it's coming back. In addition, I know this is a different segment, probably in different departments, or in many companies that's a different department, but the software have some capabilities to inspect things. So you can, for example, inspect hydrants, street lights. The software allows to go out, you go to the asset, you put in then the questionnaire, or you fill in the questionnaire. That could be, did you have found the object? Can you access it? Can you open it? For example, the hydrant, is it rusty, whatever? And you can set up an inspection matrix so that it's not subjective, but the software is doing the assessment, and it's creating PDF reports with either with photos or with the maps, with all the information and the classification. And for sure, this could be used for other things to have certain tasks, even in data collection, where you have to do an assessment of something in the same moment. The workforce component allows to send out tasks to field workers. You can set up different task types. You can attach different information. You can attach documents. You can take resources like vehicles or equipment. You see it on the calendar, who has to go when and where. It's in real time or near real time. Then you see which task is finished, different task dates, and you can interact with the field crew. Everything is with a spatial focus. You see where the tasks are. You can even set a boundary. It's important if you're doing some locates. You can say that's the locate area or that's the work area, so that you are not doing more work which is probably not required. So you have a lot of capabilities to manage that. There's a time tracking component, so you can track the field workers' time. You can then compare it with your plannings. It includes a navigation component. You can do route optimizations. It's a workforce management solution for mapping and locating companies, or for field crews in mapping and locating. The software comes with integrated checklists and forms, so you can set up your own questionnaire, have different attribute types from text field, numeric fields, calculated fields, photos, voice notes, signatures, 40, 50 attribute types. And like here, a customer in Australia was setting up a questionnaire, a health and safety form. So if the field worker goes on site, they have to say, yes, I have my safety gear on, I've parked the car on the right spot, I have the warning lights on, and so on and so on, so that they do not have the liability. And you can create PDF reports out of that. Yeah, the office to field workflow. So we'll probably show a bit how that is working. You're setting up a data capturing catalog with different object types, with different attributes, mandatory attributes. So someone has to set it up. In many cases, this comes from some legacy information, or it comes from the GIS by importing existing data. This can be customized, and when you are going out, you are connecting to your external sensors. You are opening your project. When you're opening the project, you can start collecting data. I will show that then in a short live presentation. As you see here, when you click on a capture data point, you see a lot of meta information. So you know with which device it was captured, who captured it, at which time, a lot of meta information. And that's stored to every single measurement. You can take photos, you can edit things. It's automatically geocoding it. And here we see, yeah, we can connect to different devices. At the end, you're getting that result into the office where you can review it. You can alter the data. You can then export it into various formats. You can even share the access to third parties by giving them a login, or you can share web services. So you can embed it in a live view into a GIS. Yeah, when you're clicking on these points, when it was, for example, triggered by a locator, here you see it was captured by a VLOG Pro 3 from Vivex Metotech, a certain serial number, 8 kilohertz, what was the current, what was the gain, what was the depth. So it's putting that information to every measurement point, as I said 20 times already. So you know what happened outside.
Michael, Andrew Healy here. Hi, thanks. This is going really well, and we've got some questions already.
Yeah.
If we could take a short interlude and answer a couple of those questions, that'd be great. And I know you want to do a brief live view of the software as well, so we'll get to that. But let's have a look at these questions. The first one is, does the solution have API capabilities?
Yes, it has an API, so you can embed it into an enterprise environment. You can connect it to SAP. You can connect it to other ERP systems. You can control most aspects of the, or nearly all aspects of the software from the outside. So you can create tasks. You can read out all forms, attributes. You can manage a lot, most of the aspects from through the API.
Great.
So it's a very extensive API.
I've got a couple of questions I think I could answer, but do I need to have a cable locator to use Geolantis360?
No. So for sure, this presentation is probably on high precision data collection. You can go out with a smartphone, take the use the internal GNSS, and take field notes. So you go out, mark a damage. You can capture photos. You can change attributes. So you don't need a high precision GNSS. You don't need a cable locator.
And does it work, Michael, with StoneX and Leica brands? I think you have answered this, but
yes, it's working with StoneX. So there's a, I think we see it here in this list. So it's controlling the StoneX device. So it's setting the mount points, whatever. So it's compatible with StoneX. It's compatible with Leica. It's compatible with Trimble. It's compatible with all devices capable of the NMEA standard. So awesome. And that's most of the devices.
Michael, one more question here. Can you please explain how easy it is to capture field data to where GNSS coverage is not available?
That depends on the device, because the one thing is, if you want to have high precision, you need an augmentation service. So GNSS itself, or let's say when you go out with a device without RTK or differential GPS, it's probably with the modern devices 0.5 meter, but you're not getting the centimeter level. So there are various options. So one option is doing post-processing. So you are going out, capturing data. For sure, you do not see the real coordinate after you have captured it, and then you are post-processing it in the office. But therefore, the GNSS device have to have this capability. Second option is there are already satellite services. One service is from Leica. John Deere has a service. It's satellite-based augmentation. So you don't need an internet connection anymore. So it's even working in very remote areas. We can send you a list of these services and the compatible devices. So right. One service, for example, with StoneX is the Atlas service. Okay, you have then to have this Atlas subscription, and you have to have a StoneX device with Atlas enabled. So as an example, the same with Leica. So they have such a service. Trimble have such a service. So there are various services allowing you to even capture data where you do not have a ATK service.
Excellent. Michael, I've got one more question and then I'm going to cut you loose to give you a live demo. This you may not necessarily know the answer to, but will Geolantis support WMTS? Our National Land Info Service ceased using WMS from August 2020 and now provide WTMS instead.
Web map tile services. Geolantis can consume WMS, WFS, WMTS.
Great. Right, Michael, sorry for the interruption, but I think we've got some great answers to those questions, and please continue.
I continue. So, when you're clicking on an object, you see the photo. You can access attached documents, and in some cases we have customers doing, for example, gas pressure meter measurements. So they do house connections, and then they are measuring if the house connection is tight, and that's attached to Geolantis, and so they share the data then with their clients, as an example. Good. There's a option to use export the data to Google Earth, KML. Then you can review the data. We have an embedded Street View option. I will show that then. So you don't have to export it. You directly see what happened, and many customers are using that for planning. Every Geolantis project, if it's activated, can be shared as a WFS service. So you can take QGIS or any GIS capable of using WFS data, and then you can view the data in a live way. So you see what have been captured in Geolantis, and then you see it in the GIS. So this is one option. It's not exporting, it's sharing as WFS. This was a pilot project we did in Australia, so where we shared the data from one Geolantis project into QGIS here as an example. It makes a lot of things easier. It forces higher data quality across the whole field crew, because you have the existing data with you, where you have the base maps. It increases the situational awareness, it reducing risks, and you have cost savings. For sure, that depends on the current workflow. Is it a manual workflow? Is it a digital workflow already? That have to be looked on, but usually we are saving a lot of time with our solution. That's what we are saying. We have the DNA in the software, so data quality, data integrity, having all the meta information, data is encrypted, so you are sure how data have been captured. That's the idea behind the solution. What we have done in the Netherlands, for example, there we have a digital workflow between different utilities, so contractors capturing the data, and the data is then flowing back into the GIS of the utilities. So this process has been set up for house connections. So if someone wants to have a house connection, gas, water, electricity, telecommunication, at some point we are getting the task into the Geolantis software. So these companies are not using CAD anymore, so they are sketching the house connection in Geolantis, sending out the task to the field crew. They are building the house connection and doing the as-built. Then it's flowing back into the Geolantis backend or in the dashboard. They are reviewing it, and then the data is automatically transferred to the utilities. So this can be realized with Geolantis. Well, such a workflow could be set up. So we have done that in the Netherlands because they have a very, they are very, I would say they are the most advanced in the world. So they have all this process digitized, and since from October on, everyone have to use GNSS for data collection. That's very interesting. They are really pushing that. So yeah, this is one of the slide decks. I do not want to go in detail, so probably Andrew can explain that in the future. I want to show a couple of reference customers who have agreed that we can show that. So we have a very small locating company in Australia. Actually, that was the first customer in Australia. They use Geolantis as a data collection tool with their GPRs, with their EM locators, and they use Geolantis as their main repository. So all the existing projects they have done, so I don't know the actual number, probably it's more. So they have it in Geolantis. When they go again out into the field, they can access this data again. This is one example. Another interesting project in Australia. So they are working across the country. Consolidated Power. They are planning wind parks. And what they did, they designed it in CAD. And you see here, I hope you can see it, but here you see the green design, which was coming from the CAD. And the colored lines are the ones which have been captured with Geolantis. And they are using this Leica GGO4 with the satellite-based augmentation, because in these rural areas in South Australia, you don't have a internet connection. So that's why they have chosen this device and our solution, because it works fully offline. And then when they are coming back to the office or in an area with reception, it's coming back into the dashboard or in the management interface. Yeah, another customer, it's a rail contractor. So they are doing jobs on rail sites. They have, I think, in the meanwhile, 35 StoneX devices. So they have captured a lot of objects since 2019. I think 600,000 objects. Here you see, you will see it. They are not using all the functionality of the software. It's purely for data collection, without workforce, without time tracking. It's data collection only. Yeah, that's not in our industry. So this probably it's a bit. So this company is doing planning for irrigation systems, like here somewhere where they have olives. I think, yeah, that's olives. So they are planning irrigation systems, and they are using Geolantis again with this offline capability, with this satellite-based augmentation. Now another customer, an Austrian company. So what they are doing, it's quite interesting. So they are replacing streetlights. So that was their initial idea, replacing streetlights. So they are offering these services, but their customers do not have had streetlight captured. So in many cases, they had no idea how many streetlights have been there. It was hard to quote. So they thought, okay, we get the GNSS device, we map it and sell the data to the municipalities. And what I like, what I have put in this slide deck here is, so that was their idea. because when they do a construction site, they have to document where the traffic signs have to be placed. What they're doing is they're going out, capturing the sites where they want to place the traffic signs, and they are sending it to the local government to get acknowledged that they are allowed to. So this was let's say a bit of the software. So there's much more, but a few of the examples here.
Hey, Michael, this is great. Thanks for those examples. I think we've been going for some time now, and it'd be good to hit the live to finish off. Maybe 10 minutes of that would be great, Michael.
Yep. So what I will do is I will open a browser. That's not good. I will open empty one. So we have different type of services. So one of them is the collector.geolantis.com. You are accessing that in a browser. So in this case is Safari. There's an option that you have your own installation. So some governments, they don't want to have it in the cloud. This is an option. Usually most of the customers have a cloud solution like Structon.geolantis.com, I think. Yeah, this is their own cloud instance. So there is only Structon, and on Collector we have many customers who are saying, okay, we have everything managed by Pelican Corp. So there are different ways how to roll it out, but usually you need to have a password. I say my username is webinar, and so sorry because I had it somewhere in German. So we have the software in 15 or 18 languages. You can translate it on your own if you want. So there's a translation option, but I go in 1, 2, 3, and then another couple of things. So logging in, I don't want to save the password. And here you see a couple of options in the software. Yeah, I want to show that it's going beyond data collection. So I can structure a company. I can say I have the North Island, I have then Auckland, I have South Island. If I want to have for example, a team in say Hamilton, I'm adding Hamilton. I can put in a team leader who is the team leader. So I can sign off projects. I can sign off time tracking and so on. So you can set up your structure. So I have Hamilton here, and I say that's in the South Island. Then I can create team 1, team North, team South. So you can really structure your company, and when it's assigned to projects, someone, for example, in team 1 sees only projects of the team 1, and the manager above would see everything. So you can structure the company. Another interesting thing is qualifications. So we can set up qualifications. For example, someone has locating capabilities, someone have GPR capabilities, someone is a Telstra certified locator, and you have to send someone to a job with this qualification. You can assign that to the field workers, and then you only can send someone with this qualification to a job when it's required. So it goes really beyond simple data collection. So the first thing, probably what you do is setting up projects. It's quite a simple process. You are saying, I'm creating a new project. A project is a data container. Utilities probably have one project or two projects. For example, one planning project, and one is the actual network. Contractors have hundreds or even thousands of projects, depending on how much work they do. If I click on new, I can say my project yeah, maybe I take Andrew. Is that okay? I say Mango Nui. I say that's the project in Mango Nui. I can put in a description. This is Andrew. Sorry, Andrew's playground. Come on. I can then select the coordinate system. You can customize the coordinate systems. It's using the grid file, so you will get highly precise transformations. Here in this account, it's activated. You can assign the project to a customer, or can say that's, yeah, I don't have a team. Let's say I will send this project is for the North Island team. The interesting thing of the software is that you can customize a lot of things. So I set up a couple of project types. So if I go on locating projects, what it's doing, it's giving custom attributes, and you can customize these things. So you can build up your own catalogs, and that can be managed for most of the items in the whole software. So you can customize the software if required. I can put in a project number. So here I've put in an address, but what I can do is I can add a new project location. I say new, and then I can say postcode city, and then it's geocoding it. So this is a address field. If I go on this one, I've already done that. Then it's showing you the location where it is. So it's utilizing Google and then an additional geocoding service. I can say who is the project manager. It's me. How it's built. It's an hourly rate or the site conditions. So that's only an example. So I can put in additional information. This is far in the north. So I've added these items. So now I'm saving this project. I have this project here. What I can do is I can import spatial data. I can jump into the map, or I can export data. But what I want to show first is whatever you do, you can attach documents. So to every element, you can attach documents, PDFs, Word files, whatever you want, you can attach it to the project. If I go to the users, so I go to the field crew, I go here. So I will add Andrew. So I say, I don't care on your last name. So yeah, you see a lot of fields, so you can even get reminders on birthdays. But the interesting thing is I can assign Andrew to the team on the North Island. He's the manager of the North Island. So I know I made a mistake. You are the manager of the whole country, but that's it. Here I can attach again documents. So for example, Telstra, not Telstra, how to say, a certificate of a network operator that can work in this area, or you can attach a driving license. I know privacy, whatever, but you can attach additional documents. The field worker can access in the field then, or a manager then knows this guy has this how to say, this certificate, or Telstra, not Telstra, beforeUdig certificate, whatever, that you can work, own an idea. So we have this document idea behind everything. So you have a task, you can attach documents and so on. But let's go back. You are setting up your feature class catalog. This is a very simple catalog. So I've only done a couple of things. So I said I have a communication bit, a gas pipe, street light. You are setting this data collection catalog up. I've created this project. When I would open now my tablet, so I will share it then shortly. So then I would be already able to open it and use it. What I shortly wanted to show is this scheduler. So I'm going on the scheduler. I have different scheduling capabilities. I only have one user here, because why I only have one? I should see you too, or do I have stored you? I don't know. I didn't remember. But anyway, I have the scheduler here. I would see all my field workers. I would probably see equipment, and in a bigger configuration, we have then even vehicles and so on. But you have different options to create tasks now. So I can manually create a task. I make a new reservation. So I send myself to a certain project. I only have an inspection task. I don't have a mapping task configured. So you can configure different task types. It's automatically giving a task number. I can say it's a whole day job. It's for a certain time period. It's starting at 8 to 10. It's for the project in Christchurch. I can attach additional forms. I can put in a description, and then I can save this task. And another person would be able to send it to dispatch it. So you can say one person is creating the technical description and the job and sending it out. Another not sending it out, and another person is doing the scheduling. So there are different ways how you can utilize that. And I get a report. I see what happened. So this task haven't been sent out. If I send it out, I will get it on a mobile device if I log in with my username. We can see the jobs on the map. There's a list view. So there are various ways to manage the field crews. Probably I go here. So I haven't collected any data here on this account. So it's the webinar account I've created. I have a typo here. So what I've imported is I have imported, I think, a couple of, was that here? I don't exactly know. Yeah, the zoom level is too. Yeah, so I've imported some property tiles from government service. You can customize the map view. You can set it up. But the idea would be you go out, collect data, and then you can review it. You're clicking on the object, get all the information. You can export it from here. But now I want to jump shortly into the mobile app so that you see how this is working. And then probably this is probably then going beyond to the scope. So we have a lot of other options in the software, but that should be it, I would say. So what I will do is I will start TeamViewer, and I will open. So that you see, I have a tablet here. It's an Android tablet, Samsung, a bit rugged. And now I'm connecting to this device. And in a couple of seconds, you should see the screen of this tablet. So I'm opening the Geolantis app. I already have logged in with my username. If I would log out, I have to put in my I can select the username, but I have to put in the password again. Here you see forms or some inspections. I will open project. So let's say we are opening now. Yeah, what we open, I don't know. Let's open Auckland. So it's assigning this project now to this tablet, synchronizing it with the backend and jumping into the map. So as you see, I'm somewhere in Austria. That's not funny now, because then you would see the collected points in Austria. I have a fake GPS application here, but I think for not having a too long presentation tonight, I do it manually. So here I see a certain base map. I go somewhere in Auckland. Doesn't matter. So normally you would see your GPS position. It will tell you how accurate you are. In that case, because I'm inside the building, it's saying it's 48 meters. It's using, I think, cell-based augmentation and to get this accuracy. What I would do is I would create the asset manually. So I say I'm doing something manually, and I'm placing a water hydrant somewhere. So now my whatever my attribute list is coming. So someone was setting that up. I don't know who did it. It was a template. And then I say this hydrant is somewhere. Normally you are going to the hydrant and you are capturing the GPS or the GNSS position with your external device. But as you see here, I am doing it manually without the external device. So you can place things manually or use the internal GPS. So if I click on the object, you would see it's a hydrant with quality level A, what I've put in. Recording mode was manual. And the elevation is wrong because I was not having a location. I was placing it manually. I see here it's already synchronized to the backend. And if I would go back to the office, what we said, I said I do it in Auckland. And in Auckland, we already should have somewhere. I think this will take a couple of seconds that it's showing the location. Come on, that's now the presentation effect, why it's not going there automatically. It's here. Normally it should jump there, and you see already the hydrant in the backend. So if I click on it, I get the same information. Now I'm going back into the mobile application, clicking again on this object, taking a photo. Now, sorry, I'm doing that one. Andrew, you are on this one. Sorry for that. So now I have attached a photo. If I click on the object, I see here I have a recorded picture, a photo, and I can click on it. I say edit, and now I will take a certain color, whatever, and I will say, oh, draw, and I'm marking. So I haven't taken green, so I want to have green. So I'm marking something. So you can put text on. You can put different symbols on, and now I've done that. So annotated the photo. Sometimes you want to record the damage on a hydrant or on a valve. So you're just doing that by marking it. It's already synced. Important to understand, everything is stored in a spatial mobile database. So if you are offline, it's still stored. As soon as you have a reception, it's syncing back to the server. If I reload here and click on the object, I probably will see Andrew here. Yeah. I think I can show you 2 more hours, different functionalities of the software. I think that should be the scope of this presentation. I'm happy to answer more questions if you want.
I'm not sure if you can hear me, Michael.
I can hear you.
Yep, great. That means Freddie's sorted me out with sound. But I do have a question from one person, and they've said, does Geolantis360 provide event triggering for push notifications, say, to client contacts?
Yeah, I will log out. I wanted to prevent that, but I'm logging in now as an admin here to show a couple of more.
And I think that was the last question, Michael. Yeah. We've got about 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I will show what we have here. So we have a vehicle tracking or vehicle management option. We have equipment management. For example, you're having expensive equipment like let's take such a device, and it's not so expensive, but you have a device. If you have a barcode on it, I even can say I'm handing it over from one person to another. We have so-called event management. Yes, we can do notification if something is happening. And what we have probably in is we have geofencing. So if someone is entering a geofence zone, you can have certain actions, or you can only fill in things if you are in the geofence area. So there are a lot of options in the software, a lot of settings. We have, I think, 1,200 settings in the software. We have custom roles. We have a lot of things in the software which I haven't shown so far. So it's really a platform to optimize workflows in data collection. But mostly, I don't want to scare off. So the simpler way would be to jump in and say, I go in a very basic role, and so then you only have a lot of some options. You don't have to learn a lot. So the software is flexible. So we have customers with one-man operation, or we have customers with hundreds or even more field crews or office admins. So the software is flexible on that one.
One more question here, Michael. Does Geolantis have work order recording capabilities, including generating work orders, recording actions, images, of course, as we've seen?
Yeah, so you can set up such a workflow. Probably this would go beyond now the presentation here.
Sure.
So what we have here is we can have custom workflows where you say step one is this, and then the software is triggering something, or it can create. I'm not sure if this is answering the question. What we have, for example, you are doing inspections. You are inspecting. I don't know if I have an example here. So I'm hoping. Yeah, I have one example here. So this is an output out of the Geolantis software. It's coming. It's a hydrant inspection form. So this is coming out of the GIS, or this is the imported data set. So that's the attribute data of the hydrant. And these are the inspection questions. So someone was putting that in. Did you found the hydrant? Yes. Is the ID plate on? Is it accessible? What is the condition, and so on? What we can do is, if certain things are triggered, so here working was based on these metrics I've showed before. What we can do is, if you have inspected 50 hydrants, so you can automatically create a task that 5 which are not working are automatically sent to someone to do another job, like repairs. So if this is answering the question, probably I haven't understood this question properly, but we have such things in the software.
Michael, I think it's fair to say that Geolantis is completely configurable, but it's also customizable, and it has broad capability in terms of configuration. Like you said, there's 1,200 fields effectively. Functions.
Settings.
Yes, settings.
Fields, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more database fields. So yeah, it's completely configurable and completely customizable, and you've got many examples of that with clients that have configured it using a lot of the configuration settings, but you've also got customers that have a high level of customization.
Yep.
I have one more question, a couple more questions. Can the GIS platform carry string attributes or point attributes only?
Yes.
And can we edit these forms as per our organization's requirements?
No, everything. So I will show that. If I go to form management, that's a very simple configuration here, but I have an inspection form. So you can open the form editor, depending on how complex. So we have different levels. So we can say it's simple, the intermediate or the advanced option. Then you have more or less functionality or complexity. So what I can do is everyone can do that. So I can set up a new form. I can say I'm adding a new field. I can say this is a plus minus because that's an address field. It's a I want to have, when someone is filling in this form, it should record the location. I can put in a date and time. I can say yes or no. I put in a phone number, take a photo, let someone ask for a signature. So if I have the signature here, I say that's signature. So this key is used for the API, or if you are exporting, so I can say that's SIG X1, whatever. What I can do is I have different signature types. I can say I don't have to put in a name. Someone have to put in a name, or can put in a name. I can say by signing this, the data is ours, whatever. So that's a joke. So you can say that's mandatory. You have a lot of options, and this is not the export mode. In the export mode, you even have more. We have different form types. We can say that's a standard form, it's a task form, but we have even more when you are going in a bigger configuration. And this is for a certain task. For example, that's an inspection task. But in this simple configuration, you only have this inspection task. If you are going on, I go on the Pro admin, I go on Pro admin, then Pro, that was the wrong one, sorry. I go on whatever on this one. Then I go here on task types, then I can customize my task types. So I can say I'm making a new task type. I can define a lot of things, and when I go back to the form management, I think we will see then a couple of more form types. So I have a standard form. Now here we still have only the task form, but we have a vehicle form. So when you are doing vehicle management, so we have this vehicle management because customers, some of our customers having a fleet of how will we say that? They have all the mapping gear in there, and so they have to check these vehicles. So we have a lot of options here. Yeah,
that's great, Michael. I think it's fair to say the software is very configurable and customizable, and you've got the API if you want to link it into your own enterprise application.
Yes, important to understand is that when you don't need this complexity, you don't have it, and you don't have to deal with it. What we wanted to show is we have, for large companies, we have a lot of options. If someone really wants to do data collection or improve the data collection process, workflows, it's very simple to use.
I think that's a key element, Michael, and just to wrap up, it is completely scalable. So you've got the very simple data collection, simple task-orientated workflows, and then you can scale right up to workforce management, your GIS capabilities, so on and so forth. So, look, I want to thank you, Michael, for your time today and for giving us such a great demonstration of the Geolantis software. We have a business development manager, Richard Dyson, who is happy to engage with you. Freddie Werpel, our marketing officer, assisted by Juliana Luez, will send you confirmation of the Geolantis webinar and give you the information you need if you'd like to continue a conversation, and we can arrange further demonstrations, etc. But for today, wish you all safe travels and a good day, and thanks once again everybody for attending. Cheers.